Before we begin, if you love emotional family stories, real-life struggles, and heart-touching journeys about love, sacrifice, and relationships, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that might change the way you see life. Because today's story is about a mother, a soul, and the painful, beautiful moment when love means letting go. The rain fell quietly over Maplewood. Not the loud, angry kind of storm that rattles windows and floods streets. This rain was softer, slower, the kind that whispered against rooftops, the kind that made the world feel smaller, calmer, almost frozen in time. Streetlights reflected on the wet pavement like scattered gold. Tree branches swayed gently, and at the very end of Willow Lane, inside a small cream-colored house with warm yellow lights glowing through the curtains, Emily Carter stood alone in her kitchen. The house smelled faintly of dish soap and chamomile tea. The sink was filled with the last of the dinner plates. Her sleeves were rolled up. Water dripped from her fingers. It should have been an ordinary night. Just another quiet evening. But something felt different. Heavy. Like the air itself was holding its breath. Emily stacked the plates slowly, lost in thought. At 43, she had grown used to silence. Used to the rhythm of a small home shared with only one other person. Her son, Alex. Her whole world. Her only child. Her greatest achievement. And lately, something about him had changed. She couldn't explain it. But mothers always know. It was in the way he avoided eye contact. In the way he stayed up late. In the way his laughter didn't sound as light as it used to. Like something was weighing on him. Like he was standing at the edge of a decision he hadn't told her about yet. She dried her hands on a towel and sighed. Maybe I'm overthinking, she whispered to herself. But deep down, she knew she wasn't. Then, Mom, can we talk? His voice came from the living room. Soft, careful, almost fragile. Emily froze. Her heart skipped. That wasn't his normal voice. That was the voice someone uses when something serious is about to change everything. She wiped her hands again, though they were already dry. Her palms were suddenly cold. Of course, she called back, trying to sound normal. But her chest tightened as she walked toward him. Every step felt heavier. Like she already knew. This conversation would divide life into two parts. Before tonight. And after. Alex was sitting on the couch. The lamp beside him cast a golden glow across his face. But it didn't hide the tension in his eyes. He was staring down at his hands, rubbing his fingers together nervously, like he was rehearsing words in his mind. Emily sat beside him immediately, instinctively, close enough to touch, close enough to protect. She reached for his hand. What's going on, honey? He inhaled deeply, held it, exhaled. Silence stretched between them. Tick, tick, tick. The clock on the wall suddenly sounded louder than ever. Finally, Mom, I need to ask you something. Her stomach tightened. A request? She asked gently. He nodded, but didn't look at her. And that scared her more than anything. Alex had always been open with her. Always honest. So why did this feel so hard for him? You can tell me anything, she said softly. Always. He swallowed, then looked up. And the emotion in his eyes nearly broke her heart. I want to leave town. The words hit like a slap. Leave. With someone I love. The world stopped. Just like that. Everything went quiet. Even the rain outside seemed to pause. Leave town. Someone I love. Her brain tried to process it. But it felt unreal. Like hearing news about someone else's life. Not hers. Not her son. You mean move, she whispered. He nodded slowly. I want to start fresh. Somewhere new. Somewhere we can build our own life. We. That word hurt more than she expected. Not me. Not us. We. Someone else had become his future. And for the first time, she realized she wasn't at the center of it anymore. What's her name? Emily asked carefully. Sophie. He smiled when he said it. And that tiny smile told her everything. This wasn't a phase. This wasn't temporary. This was real. She's kind, Mom. She understands me. Being with her just feels right. He laughed softly. Nervous. I've never felt this way before. Emily studied him quietly. And suddenly, she didn't see a boy. She saw a man. Her little boy who used to hide behind her legs at the grocery store. Now talking about building a life with someone else. Time really was cruel. It never asked permission before moving forward. How long, she asked. A few months, but it feels like years. He squeezed her hand. I didn't want to hide anything from you. Then his voice cracked. But I can't go without your blessing. That did it. That broke her. Because this wasn't rebellion. This wasn't running away. This was respect. Love. Trust. He still needed her approval. Still valued her opinion. Even now. Tears blurred her vision. Memories flooded in. His first steps. His first day of school. Holding her hand when he was scared. Calling her after every bad day. How could the same child now be ready to leave? How did 23 years pass so quickly? She stood up slowly and walked to the window. Rain traced thin lines down the glass. Street lights shimmered. Her reflection stared back at her. A mother trying to be strong. Trying not to be selfish. Because love isn't about holding someone close. It's about letting them grow. Even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts. Behind her, Alex waited silently. Didn't pressure her. Didn't rush her. He had her patience. Her heart. Her kindness. Maybe. She had done something right after all. She turned back to him. Her voice barely steady. I'm scared, Alex. He nodded. I know. I don't want to lose you. You won't, he said immediately. You're my home. That won't ever change. And that sentence, wrapped around her heart like a warm blanket. Maybe distance didn't mean separation. Maybe love didn't weaken with miles. Maybe it simply changed shape. She walked back, held his face in her hands like she used to when he was little, and whispered, give me some time to think. Relief washed over him. Okay. He hugged her tightly, and for a moment, she held him longer than usual, like she was memorizing the feeling. Just in case. Morning came quietly. Too quietly. The rain had stopped sometime before dawn, leaving Maplewood washed clean and shining under pale sunlight. Drops clung to the trees like tiny crystals. The street outside looked peaceful. Still. Almost innocent. But inside the Carter house, peace didn't exist. Emily hadn't slept. Not really. She had closed her eyes, sure. But her mind never stopped moving. Every time she drifted off, memories pulled her back awake. Alex as a toddler running through the hallway in socks. Alex crying on his first day of kindergarten. Alex learning to ride a bike, falling, scraping his knees, then looking at her with watery eyes and saying, don't let go, Mom. And now, he was the one letting go. She sat at the kitchen table, fingers wrapped around a mug of tea that had already gone cold. Sunlight filtered through the curtains. Dust floated lazily in the air. The clock ticked. Tick, tick, tick. Too loud. Everything felt too loud. Even the silence. Her eyes drifted to the empty chair across from her. For years, that's where Alex had eaten breakfast. Cereal spills. Toast crumbs. Sleepy smiles. Now it just looked temporary. Like it was waiting to be empty. Footsteps approached. Soft. Careful. Alex. He stepped into the kitchen like he wasn't sure he was welcome. Like he was afraid one wrong move might break something fragile between them. Morning, Mom, he said gently. She forced a small smile. Morning. There was an awkward pause. The kind that had never existed between them before. It hurt more than any argument could have. I can make breakfast, he offered quickly. Eggs, toast, coffee. It wasn't really about food. It was his way of saying, I'm still here. Please don't be upset with me. Emily noticed that. And her heart softened instantly. You don't have to, she said. I want to. So he moved around the kitchen, pretending everything was normal. But she saw it. The way his hands trembled slightly when he cracked the eggs. The way he kept glancing at her. Waiting. Watching. Hoping. Finally, he couldn't hold it in anymore. Did you think about what I said? There it was. The question. The one hanging between them since last night. She took a slow breath. I did. He froze. Yeah. It's just a lot, Alex. Her voice cracked despite her effort. You've been my whole world for 23 years. And suddenly you're talking about moving away. Starting a life somewhere else. She looked at him. I'm happy for you, but I'm scared too. His shoulders relaxed slightly. Not rejection. Not anger. Just honesty. I'm scared too, he admitted. That surprised her. You are. He nodded. Yeah. New place. New job. New everything. But when I'm with Sophie, it doesn't feel scary. It feels right. Right. Such a simple word. Yet so powerful. Emily studied his face. The determination. The quiet confidence. This wasn't a boy chasing a dream. This was a man choosing his future. And somehow, that realization hurt and healed her at the same time. Later that afternoon, when Alex stepped out to run errands, Emily did something she hadn't planned. Something her heart pushed her to do. She picked up her phone. Scrolled through Alex's messages. Found the number. Sophie. Her thumb hovered over the call button. Should I? Would it be weird? Would she think I'm interfering? But if this girl was going to take her son away, if this girl was going to become part of his life, Emily needed to know her. Needed to hear her voice. Needed to understand the person her son trusted with his heart. So she pressed call. Her pulse raced. Ring. 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 Then. Hello? Mrs. Carter. The voice was soft. Warm. Nervous. Respectful. Not arrogant. Not careless. Not dismissive. Respectful. And for some reason, that tiny detail immediately eased Emily's chest. Sophie. Emily said gently. I hope I'm not bothering you. No, not at all. Alex talks about you all the time. All the time. Her heart squeezed. Really? Of course. He says you're the strongest person he knows. Emily blinked rapidly. She hadn't expected that. They talked. At first awkwardly. Then slowly. More naturally. Sophie spoke carefully, like every word mattered. She told Emily how Alex supported her when she was stressed. How he remembered small things. How he made her laugh when she wanted to cry. He's really special, Sophie said quietly. I've never met someone so kind. Emily felt tears rising again. Because that was her boy. The same boy she raised. Still gentle. Still loving. Still good. I just want him to be happy, Sophie added. And I promise. I'll never hurt him. I'll take care of him like you did. That did it. Emily's voice trembled. Thank you, sweetheart. Sweetheart. The word slipped out naturally. Like Sophie already belonged. When the call ended, Emily sat there for a long time. Phone in her lap. Heart strangely lighter. Because this wasn't some reckless romance. This wasn't foolishness. This was two people who genuinely cared about each other. And maybe love deserved a chance. That evening, Emily watched Alex from the hallway. He was in his room. Packing. Folding shirts carefully. Stacking jeans. Rolling socks. Each movement slow. Thoughtful. Real. This wasn't a conversation anymore. It was happening. Actually happening. She leaned against the wall and just watched. Memorizing everything. The posters on his wall. The messy desk. The old guitar in the corner. This room had held his entire childhood. Now it looked temporary. Like a hotel room he was about to check out of. Mom. She hadn't realized he saw her. You okay? She forced a smile. Just checking on you. He walked over. Hugged her suddenly. Tightly. Like he used to when thunderstorms scared him. Thank you, he whispered. For trying. She closed her eyes. Held him back. Maybe this was what growing up looked like. Not dramatic. Not explosive. Just quiet. And heartbreaking. That night, lying in bed, Emily stared at the ceiling. Thinking. Reflecting. Remembering. Motherhood wasn't what she thought it would be. When Alex was born, she believed her job was to protect him forever. Keep him close. Keep him safe. But now she understood something deeper. You don't raise children to stay. You raise them to leave. To build. To love. To live. And if they come back to you with respect, gratitude, and trust, then you did your job right. A tear slid down her cheek. But she smiled. Because maybe, just maybe, She had.